Alrighty, hello everybody, this is Kira's show here. Now, this video is coming around 3 o'clock because, well, every time I tried recording, I kept getting interrupted. Then, I had to go do something. Now then, with that being said, I'm finally able to record today. Hopefully, I'm not sure. But I'll at least try and get this video out. Now, let us continue. Where we last left off, Deku and everyone had just gotten through their battles, and they were now announced as winners. The Elder, he would just look down at Deku, as Deku would just explain to him further that the ship they have, it is, well, too small, as they would go over different things about the ship, getting a bigger one and actually getting quarters, a place to stay, a bathroom, a shower, and everything a human needs. Along with the fact that they would get it properly set up to be more like a ship, along with the fact that they get proper eating quarters, a gym to work out in, and proper training rooms. The training room being one of the biggest on the ship. Basically around, well, I wouldn't put it as large as a gymnasium, but it's a fairly big room. Now, with that being said, Deku, he would just watch as the Elder would raise them up once again. He would announce that they have all done well. In fact, they did not expect all humans to survive. Even then, the rest of your crew has proven themselves, along with that one boy who took down the feral predator, doing very good against him. You have all earned trophies, as they would get more weapons. Now, May, she does keep that crossbow, the bow and arrow she got from the predator. She keeps it as, well, that's her trophy, along with the fact that she actually does get one more thing with it. She gets a attachment that the predator she killed had, symbolizing her status and if not boost to potentially elite. Momo actually does get, well, I want to say she would get a staff, but I did say she already got one. If not, she got the other side of one. So she would be at least given a smart disc. Bakugo, he did very well, so he would also, well, get to choose from two things. I want to say, being Bakugo, he would choose the new Kopin, because it's a one-handed weapon, giving him free access to use his wrist blades or his explosions with his other hand. Ugh. Kirishima, however, he would be picking something different. I want to give him the wrist scythe, but I could see him using a bludgeoning weapon, or getting a xenoproof dagger. Yeah, let's say he gets a xenoproof dagger like Deku. Now, after about a week or two, everyone has remained on the station. They finally got the ships done, as they would be off, as they set their coordinates for Earth. And everyone would go to the dining hall. Everyone's there as they're just somewhat confused. This is whenever Mina would speak up, saying that she can't believe she's finally going home. Wait, that's actually right. What about you guys? Do you guys have homes? We used to. Yeah, actually, it's getting a little hard to remember what things were like back on Earth. Yeah, we've been with the Yaja for most of our lives, actually. So, you guys have no idea what's going on. Do any of you know who All Might is? Who? The number one hero. Number one. Yeah, he takes down bad guys. He's the strongest on the planet. He's not the strongest in the world. Really? as she just sees everyone just starting to mess with their knuckles a bit. You guys? No? First off? What? You can't fight him, he's a hero. Oh, come on. Just one fight. Just let me cut him. No. That's not how you deal with heroes on Earth. If not the strongest. You have to admire to be one. Besides, while we're here, can you guys at least give me an explanation on the one thing? Sure. Well, it's just xenomorphs are acid proof, but so am I. No, clearly you're not acid proof. But what? Why? Well, you're acid resistant, I think, but not acid proof. Now, here's whenever Deku would just finally think of one good thing. Well, do you guys want to see a xenomorph before we head back? It's actually on the way. Why not? As they would set plan, well, they would basically, Deku would just walk over to the console and just interface with it, bringing his mask up, if not bringing up a mask. Basically, putting it onto his face, telling the ship to change course for a planet. If not, another game planet. Now, they would arrive fairly soon, if not a couple days later. Hearing that they've landed on the planet, they would be somewhat excited as they would walk out. They would just look at the planet and see what's going on. This planet's dark, it's foggy, it's barren. What is this place? Oh, this is LV-426. We call it the homeworld of the xenomorphs. Homeworld? Well, we have no clue where they came from. One day they just popped up. In fact, it's quite strange. The greatest prey for the greatest hunters. So, it's not all bad. Now, with that being said, Deku would just show them what a xenomorph actually is. He would hold up a trophy, showing that he has his head. This is a xenomorph. If you guys want to, you can go hunt some down. Actually, go do that. As he would just basically hand over his knife. Here, I'll even give you a little crutch. A xenoproof knife. Kirishima, you still have yours? Yeah, this thing's a bit weird. What even is this? Oh, that's one of their tails. Oh, okay. As these two would walk out. Kirishima would be able to take down a xenomorph fairly easily, with the fact being that anytime it goes to scratch at him, he could just stab the knife in. And he doesn't have to worry about it, well, breaking or melting away. But he would eventually stab one through, as he is told to just cut its head off. He would take out his wrist blade and just slice the head off, and, well, carry it over. Mina, however, is having a bit more trouble. She is trying to dodge, if not get away from the xenomorph, but anytime she does spray acid at it, the xenomorph just shakes it off, running straight through it. This is whenever the xenomorph would finally tackle her, and it would go to bring its tail to stab down. It would do so as it would cut into her shoulder, as she was able to at least move away, if not move her head out of the way. This is whenever you'd hear a loud sound as something goes flying through the air, stabbing through the xenomorph's head, and it would begin to melt away. Now, this is whenever the xenomorph would fall over as it begins to foam at the mouth. As it begins to just seize up and eventually stop. May is just standing there as she is holding up her bow, and she just brings it down. Jeez, That was a bit overkill. What even was that? Um, it's a poison, but I didn't expect it to do that. Well, you should be a bit more careful. If you get her covered in xeno blood, it might not end well. Fair point. Now, Mina would just get back up as she does pick up the blade. Looking at it, she does see the blood as she does go to touch it. She would put one of her fingers in it as she immediately pulls away and, well, tries to shake it off. She is not at all resistant to this blood, which she can now confirm. Which is whenever she would just take out, well, she would unholster her smaller blade as she is carrying around Deku's. Whenever she does see a xenomorph, she immediately just tosses the knife at one as she goes charging in. The knife would hit the xenomorph in the chest, making it somewhat spray acid and burn through the knife as she would just stab it into its head, up into its chin, killing it, decapitating it and taking its head for a trophy, as she actually is a bit riled up. She would just come running over as you just see her just with a smile on her face, just being a bit antsy and just, well, having an adrenaline rush. This is whenever everyone would just somewhat smirk as they would hear a horde coming. Mina and Kirishima would just turn around as they see an ocean of xenomorphs flying at them. Well, basically just piling over each other to try and kill them. What the hell? Yeah, that's about a good time to go. As they would all walk onto the ship and just take off for space as fast as possible. Now, they are really happy about this as Deku would just tell them that they have done well. In fact, if you're able to take down an engineer, I kind of figured you'd take down a xenomorph. Now, with that being said, they would be setting their course for Earth. As the ship would tell them, 1 month until arrival. Now, I want to say 1 month because this ship is bigger and going into hyperspace or light speed, that requires a ship made to do so. This one's more or less made to be a, well, company ship with more people and a housing vessel. So it will take time, albeit they are halfway across the galaxy, so 1 month is pretty good. Now then, hearing that, they would begin training as Kirishima and Mina would just improve upon their quirks. Deku usually just, well... Now, as for improving upon their quirks, Kirishima would just be getting hit harder and harder and harder, being knocked over and just getting back up again. As for Mina, hers is a bit more complicated. I can see her just like releasing acid through her hands and letting it come up to her forearms, and just increasing the lethality of it. But other than that, I want to see if she can coat her entire body in it, to try and at least wear down her resistance until it does build back up. That type of training would be a lot more complicated because it would help her improve upon her acid resistance. Whereas everyone's just doing their regular physical routine. Which these two are just watching and it's insane. Now, they would have finally arrived to Earth. As they would land. They land in a forest just outside of Japan, as they're trying to figure this all out. They need to hide the ship somewhere. So Deku would just settle on one thing. He would tell the ship to, well, stealth up and hide at the bottom, if not inside of a cave. I would say at the bottom of the ocean, but, well, that would not be fun. That would be a fun underwater discovery. I don't know where they would exactly hide the ship, because if they hide it in the ground, hey, look what we uncovered. If you hide it in a cave, that's fairly hard, because caves aren't that big all the time. But let's just say that they cloak it up. If not, they have a cloaking device on the ship, hiding their presence, and they would just find a good place to put it. Yeah, let's actually say that they would actually just keep it in orbit. If not, just put it up into orbit, putting it outside of the atmosphere. That way, it at least stays hidden. Along with that, they would have it cloaked up and have alarms rigged to it. They would just shoot down pods that they can use to bring themselves up to the ship in case they need to for an emergency. Now, that being said, Mina would explain to everyone to keep their weapons aboard the ship and to, well, get cleaned up. As everyone's kind of confused. Well, first off, all of you guys need to get your hair sorted out because just it's too long. Deku, he's not sure what she's talking about. She would just walk over and grab Deku's hair, just wrapping some wire around it, as it is now in a bun. Neat. So, what does this do? Huh? What combat necessity does this do? What, are you asking why I would do it for combat? Yeah? You don't. You just do it for convenience. Oh, that's disappointing. You guys seriously need to get a grip. No. She would just leave the ship as she would bring. Well, they're in the forest right now, but she would just leave and try to figure things out. As they would come across, I want to say an RV and take the clothing. And whenever they do so, they would arrive back in the city. People are staring at them as these people all have long hair, they're fairly muscular for being small children, if not at the age of 11 years old. Not just that, they do notice that Kirishima and Mina, those two have been reported missing. So this is whenever police would immediately just see them and stop them. Just, well, asking questions and taking them into custody. As that would happen, Mina would just explain to them all to keep calm and to follow what they say. As the police are just running complete system checks against every one of these children, finding that they've all been missing. And then there would be a news outbreak that some of the kids who have been missing have finally been found. But it is unknown to where there have been, well, it has been unknown as to where they've been for the last couple years. Now, I want to say that this is whenever eventually Momo's family would arrive, if not some security guards. Or security guards. No. Bodyguards. They would just arrive and they're trying to see if it's actually, well, Yaoyorozu. Along with that, everyone's families would come after getting in proper contact with them, and this is whenever Mitsuki and Inko would finally arrive. They're both in tears as they see their children. Along with that, you also have the fact that those two have been missing since the age of 4. They thought they would never see them again, which is very heartwarming for a lot of these families. As Inko would just run over and hug Deku, Deku at a reflex would just somewhat back away, if not bring his hands up, which kind of confuses her. Where have you guys been? We're not sure actually. Well, what has happened? Why are you so... As she actually does begin to feel Deku's arms and the area around his shoulders. Actually feeling a lot of muscle. What? Why are you so... Come on, brat. Who are you? Why do you look like me? I'm your mom, don't you remember? Um, Not really, no. Oh. Well, at least come on. Let's go get some food. Um, okay. Midoriya. As Bakugo would just immediately look back. Let's go get some food. Everyone just would immediately just follow Deku as he would begin to walk forward. They're all a bit confused as to what just happened, as everyone's just looking around. All the families are still in shock, but they're just kind of, well, even more worried that they're following this one boy. Now, eventually they would all just settle on going to one collective place to try and get a good explanation out of all the children. Which is whenever they would go to a hamburger place, if not a proper burger place. They're all confused at everything they see on the menu. As Deku would get pizza, and he's somewhat hesitant, actually just poking down at it. Why are you doing that? Oh, I've never seen this before. You don't remember, Izu? This used to be one of your favorite treats. Or, well, meals. Not really. Now, eventually, over a weird month period, these families would all be talking and they would actually bring the children together to try and figure out exactly what's going on, finding no answers. But they would find that Mr. Yaoyorozu, he would have actually somewhat bought a housing complex so that all these families can stay together, if not be there. Since Momo usually just likes being outside, if not just sleeping on the ground, since she doesn't like that whole high-class bed. Now, with that being said, the complex would come with a gym and other things, as Deku and Baku would be put back into school. People are asking these two quite a lot of questions, as these two are just barely giving ever any answers. They were specifically told by the elders to not give any information about space, the Yaoja, or any equipment they have. But knowing May, she would have just kept hers, and well, her being the person who tinkers about a lot, she would slowly reveal it as she goes over a lot of Earth equipment. Now, with that being said, on their first day back, people are staring at them, as they're just staring at Deku. Someone would ask Deku about his quirk, and he just called it adaption. No one would believe him, as Bakugo would just hold up his hand, saying that his quirk is explosions. Oh, really? Then throw an explosion at his face. See if he adapts to it. As Bakugo would just bring up his hand, punching Deku in the face, people are watching as Deku's face actually hardened. What? Bakugo, at least just tell me when you're gonna do that. Well, what's the fun in that? Touche. As Bakugo would just pull his hand back. They'd be more intimidated by the fact that Deku didn't even flinch and how calm he was. Now, they would arrive in class as they would see Uraka, Mei, Momo, Sue, Mina, and Kirishima. They've all been moved into the same school. In fact, I would say they arrived in Todoroki's school, but that would make things a little more complicated. So let's just say that they're in Deku's original school in canon. Now then, with that being said, okay, I do still have time. With that being said, Deku, as soon as they arrive, they would be in PE. People are watching as Deku and Baku are outclassing everyone else. Deku actually being able to jump up to 3 stories, and Bakugo just using an explosion to jump up to 5. Now, when it comes to strength, it'd be Deku versus Bakugo. People are watching as during PE, these two would just be fighting and actually just working on martial arts. As you have Momo and Mei doing somewhat of the same, while Sue and Uraka are somewhat messing around. If not, they're just going over certain Yaja things. If not, they're still practicing their Yaja so they don't get rusty at it. But they do, I want to say, play basketball, which would be somewhat weird to them. Along with that, Kirishima and Mina, they're just, well, doing regular things. People are just staring at Deku and Baku as anytime one of these two counters the other and goes to attack, the other would counter and do the same. As they're actually doing this with three attacks within a second, if not 2 seconds of one another. So they're just watching this as eventually Deku would just slam Baku onto the ground. And just raise his hands up. As he would go to scream, he would immediately just cover his mouth as he's looking around. Everyone in the group would just be staring at Deku as he would just run out of the gym. Now, they would follow as one of the teachers would ask what's wrong. Deku wouldn't respond until Uraka actually does walk over to Deku. She would ask Deku this question in Yaoja, which confuses the teacher. Deku would respond as it's weird being here. They would all start having conversations in this language, and the teachers would find it a bit weird, but they would know about the situation these kids were put in, so they would think as a coping mechanism, they probably started making up a language, if not started speaking, well, something they learned from their captors. So they would just somewhat write this down. Now, with that being said, I do want to end the episode off here. Or part. So, I do hope you guys enjoyed the video, and they are back on Earth now. So, I do hope you enjoyed.